Are you seeing or
Yeah,
you're
I'm
good? Okay. And I'm gonna put it. I might switch the camera only because it's both of us right now, and I've never had it like that, but it looks good.
You'll see you too?
Yeah. Well, so because if I have it the other way, it's not gonna. It's only gonna see that one spot.
Hi. Look, you're gonna be on camera tonight. You say hi.
She's all on camera every night, lady. Huh? She's all. I live on TikTok. She's so like, it's so crazy. We were going through McDonald's one time. She was singing like a nutcase, and all the McDonald's workers, they were like all at the window, like, because they seen her, and I'm like,
That's
I look
funny.
like a circus. She's all doing circus tricks. Okay, Naya should be getting on any minute. We have somebody watching. I have no idea what that is over there.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're. Oh wait. Yeah, we're live. Wait, it's because I don't know how to check it this way. I don't know how to check it. Let me see real quick. If I'm trying to go and see if we're live on Facebook.
Just no little bites, Missy.
Okay, let me see. View. Continue to Facebook open. What do you mean? All right. Okay. Okay, thank you. Welcome everybody. We're just getting a little situated. I was getting our camera ready, and Naya on any minute. We're just checking our YouTube feed. I mean, not our YouTube, our Facebook, because for some reason it has not been going live. So I had to get crazy. I'm just kidding. I called. I let StreamYard know, and this has been for like a long time. It hasn't been doing it, so I requested a refund and all kinds of stuff. But we'll see how much it gets taken care of. So we're just waiting for a few more minutes. I can't see what time it is. What is that? What time do you think it is, Bonnie? Well, I can't see my time for some reason.
7:01.
All right, okay. So we are going to get started. Well, Naya, should I send Naya a request and let her know? Well,
Yeah.
like, hey, we're on, so that way, maybe, because sometimes you get busy and you forget, yeah?
Yeah.
Hold on, guys. I'm gonna go remind somebody really quick. Thank you to everybody who's watching, and Bonnie will be back in just a minute. We're gonna just get don't nobody leave. We'll be right back for 1 second. Okay, let's go to Messenger.
She took your seat.
She always does. She's terrible. They don't. Oh, great! Look at there's my. That's our new. That's my.
Mascot.
Yeah, that's behind bars mascot. In case if anybody wanted to know who our guest is today. Just kidding. Hi, Allie. Okay, so while we wait for Naya to get on, because I just emailed her. I mean, text her. I should have done that a little bit earlier today, but I sent her a message last night. So that way in case. But I am going to introduce my guest Bonnie, and I am going to allow her to let me know where she did time, how long she did time, if she would like to share anything about her crime, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, so I am Bonnie. My crime was embezzlement, white collar crime, and I did less than a year, mostly all of it at Springer, New Mexico.
That's good. Not good, you know what I mean. You
Yeah.
did good while speaking. Oh, okay. Before we were supposed to start that, I was supposed to say our opening. I forgot to also say that if anybody would like to watch us or ask questions, they can view on Facebook Live, which it is streaming right now. That's what I went on to check, and there you can see the pause in the video on the feed, because you'll be able to go and then you'll see the black on Facebook. So, or on YouTube Live, and that's on our YouTube page. You go to Rhiannon Montoya, and then behind bars in the 505, and then you'll go to lives, and then you can see us there. So if you want to ask questions, you can get on, and you can do that right now in real time. Thank you. Okay. So our first question is going to be, before your charges began, what was your lifestyle like, and what brought on your charges?
So for a long time, I had just a regular little married life. I had 4 kids, and then ended up getting divorced and being a single mom of 4 kids with no child support. I was a business owner, and when the economy crashed, things got pretty rough. From the time I got divorced, I was using probably quite a bit of alcohol, and when things got really bad, the economy crashed, I was struggling financially a lot, and ended up where I began very tiny amounts of stealing, and a lot of guilt with that. And the more that I stole, the more that I drink, and the more that I drink, the more that I stole. And it was a complete 360 of my whole life that had been before.
And then it's like a vicious circle, right? Like you start and you're like, it's just gonna be one little thing, and then it's like a snowball, right?
Well, and I thought I would be able to pull out of it, and I wasn't able to. And it just was completely upside down. I actually quit the job that I had been stealing from. Had a situation where I lost a bunch of my intestines and colon in the hospital, near-death experience, and had stopped stealing, quit that job and left, and the embezzlement was found after I left. So had tried to pull out of that, but it was what it was.
Okay, thank you. How did you feel the first time when the judge sentenced you to prison?
So that was a rough day. My 2 older adult kids came, and for myself, I had kind of prepared myself that I was going to be going, but my adult children that were there, they began wailing in the courtroom, and their heads had dropped to the ground, and I wasn't able to comfort them. Obviously, I was being with the handcuffs, and that was tough. That was extremely tough. That was, I had been in the Army when I was in my 20s back in the 1980s, and I knew I could handle everything. My biggest concern was my children. So that was the hardest part. That broke me.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah.
That's terrible. You don't even think about. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, and then it happens so fast. Like
It was,
it's like in a blink of an eye.
Right.
It's just like.
And literally kind of spinning, thinking, I don't even know what I was thinking, because I thought, I think I even asked the judge, can I hug my kids? And you're not allowed to do that. So that was really tough. And they had heard the sentence incorrectly. So I was sentenced to 9 years, all suspended, but 20 months. but they thought I was going for 7.5 years, and so
No.
and I didn't even know that till later.
Oh wow. So you thought it was that? Oh my gosh.
I knew what it was, but they didn't
Oh,
know
they didn't
what it
know.
was, and so they were just racked with sobs.
That's
And
horrible.
yeah, so everything I had done in my life prior to this, I had the no child support, and I had done everything for my kids, and so then everything that I had done collapsed, and now they lost their mom, and then their father had moved away pretty quick thereafter, and so they were pretty much without both parents, that they'd had both of us, and so everything just wiped away really quickly, and that was really devastating. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'm awful because that was really personal, like sometimes people don't go that personal.
Yeah.
How did you mentally prepare yourself to go from the change from like county, well, because like we don't move, we're like stagnant in there, and then to go into prison life?
I had done a lot. I had done a lot of drinking before I went to prison, which is really wrong, but that was my coping mechanism prior to going in, and which probably didn't get me very far, but that was my coping mechanism. That was my coping mechanism for a lot of my life, which is substance abuse that you go to, which is actually a lot worse than a lot of drugs, quite honestly.
The detox, everything on your body, it's very.
Yeah. And then, going in, I didn't have that as a crutch anymore, so it's just instant. And I think that my coping was because I had served in the Army. I kind of went back to, I really was just kind of steadfast in my mind. It was interesting. I had a lot of people tell me, you are going to gain a lot of weight in there. You're going to get so fat in there. And my daughter had weighed a lot less than me. And so I had done a lot of drinking prior to going in, and I had gained a lot of weight. And so I was in my head that I am going to lose weight when I go in there. I'm going to get into my daughter's closet when I get out. And I kind of went into that I was going to, and I never exercised because, like I told you, I hate exercising. And I'll watch you exercise, but I don't want to exercise. But when I was in there, I exercised every day. So I did a lot of, I just reverted back to my process of being in the service. And, which now I haven't done any exercising since I've been out, but while I was in there, I exercised, and I reverted back to my whole Army making my bed the way that I made my bed.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like being in the service again in a way, because it was like being in the barracks, some of it.
Yeah.
And it was being with different women like I was in the service. And so I went out and walked around, and I got up every morning instantly and swept the room, and I didn't care if anybody else was doing any cleaning. I was just doing it. I was kind of in that mindset that we had this, I'm going to pray every day. I knew I had done wrong, and I was going to try to better myself every day, and anything that I could do to help anybody else that I met in there, because I just felt like God put me in there for a reason. I was spiraling out of control. I had spiraled out of control, and I needed to spiral it back. And that was how I managed while I was in there.
So prison was kind of like it was like how do I say?
I was
kind of saved you, right?
It did. It absolutely did. And I actually remember, and it's really probably strange, and I don't know, maybe other people out there felt this way, but I can remember thanking God for putting me in there, because my drinking was severe, and my kids suffered from it, and I had so many blackouts, it was ridiculous. I drove way too many times, drunk driving. I know I met a lot of people that were in there for drinking and driving, and I don't even know how I made it home so many different nights. So it was, I needed to be in there, even though my kids suffered, my family suffered. It was where I was supposed to be.
Okay, when you arrived to RDC, how long were you in RDC, and then how did you change? Well, because in RDC it's kind of like that too, and then you go into your programming.
So from MDC to RDC and then to Springer. RDC, I could say it was definitely rougher than any of the other places I was at. I think I was there for 3 weeks, and I have hearing loss. I've had hearing loss since my 20s. I didn't get hearing aids in my life until 2018. So, and the cell I was in, the buzzer did not work.
Oh.
So in the mornings for med call, and I've had depression and anxiety and been on antidepressant pills for a long time. So the medication times when they buzz, my buzzer didn't ring. It'd be early in the morning and I couldn't hear. And so I met a girl, Sonia, and I would ask her to knock on my door, but they only released the doors that you buzzed to come out when they would shout. So that didn't really work because my buzzer didn't work. So I was missing all my meds. So that was extremely tough. And then also, I think, I had, honestly, truthfully, I grew up in this little, people with their nose up in the air, rich bitch town back in Michigan. And I hadn't been exposed to a lot of things. So that was the first time I saw some serious bites, and I seemed to walk right into every single one. So that was a lot of stuff that I wasn't used to. And no matter what I did, nobody would let me use the phone, and had a lot of trays pulled from me. So that was a tough time. RDC was tough. And they also had said that if you went to Springer, you weren't allowed to take your depression meds. So I actually went off my depression meds so I could go to RDC. And so that medication drop was shitty, really shitty.
That is, they say, but you can have your meds at
You can. It was all a lie. I can remember getting there and talking
what?
to Miss Ramirez, and she's like, "You back on your Zoloft right away." And so, a lot of crying and a lot of tears. And yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. I had humbling at RDC as well, where Easter hit, and I was like sad and crying because I missed my kids, and it was like I'm away from them for a holiday. And I remember speaking to Sonia, and she had lost her daughter, and I was like, okay, I'm crying because I miss my kids. Other people have children they've lost. Like, I need to just enough, Other people have things way worse than I've ever had anything. So a lot of humbling when I was in. Huge.
Oh, that shows growth, that's amazing.
And seeing other people's sentences that were way, way worse than mine for lesser crimes. And it was just, no more pity party. It's, those things should not have happened to other people. There's ridiculous things that you see and eye-opening, and a lot of people have dealt with way more than I have ever dealt with in my whole life. And I had my compassion, empathy for people.
That's amazing. Amal, thank you for sharing that. Okay, so when you were out, what kind of programming did you do and what kind of job did you do?
So when I first got there, I was in Potts.
Oh, and at what facilities were you at?
Okay, so just really strictly at Springer.
And then you just did your RDC time at Western, yeah?
Yeah, just
Okay.
at Western, right. At Springer, when I first got there, I was in Pod 6, and they were on lockdown immediately. So somebody was doing murals on the walls,
Oh, I remember.
and I can draw, which was kind of interesting. It's funny because people could draw.
Did you work with Jenny on that one in there?
I did.
Oh my God, I love Jenny.
I know,
Did
yeah.
you work with her in that one, on that mural in there?
Yeah, one in
Oh,
there.
that's cool, because Jenny's the one who did that one in there, yeah?
Yeah, and I think she was working on it, and somehow some conversation had come up, and so she had just basically said, "Okay, well, you can start drawing over there," and that was kind of funny.
That sounds like Jenny. Oh, that sounds like Jenny.
Yeah.
If anybody knows, we're talking about Jennifer Smith. I'm all AKA Jenny. I'm all Jenny from the block. Just kidding.
I know, I'm
She
like,
was so beautiful, huh? She was so pretty. I love Jenny. She was like a big sister person to me because she was done a lot of time and she was always trying to like take me under her wing. She was really, really good friend. Good
she
people.
was really, when I got there, the first person who kind of swooped in and just, you know, kind of showed me things and informed me about stuff. And it was funny.
That sounds like Jenny. That sounds just like if anybody knows Jennifer Smith, that's Jenny right there. Like trying to help people, always trying to like advocate for the better cause or whatever, and she always sticks up for the underdog. She was a part of the garden. She did the garden crew. There was a garden crew at CCA, and Jenny used to be on that crew. They're the ones who planted all the sunflowers outside. That was pretty cool.
I remember my grandpa when I was growing up, and I would like doodle and draw pictures, and of course he had all this thought that I was going to be a big artist, and really, you know, so I was like, oh, if my grandpa could see me now doing, you know, murals
Yeah.
in prison, this
Yeah.
is, you know, but yeah,
He's still proud. No, just kidding.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe not. No, just kidding.
I know,
Because the
it's like,
little abuelos
this
are
is what
like,
I was
oh,
really hoping to do. But I mean, that was that was cool to do that. But I did IOP, like, in Pod 2 after that. And, yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know you worked on the murals. That's pretty cool. Well, because so if anybody knows, at Springer facility, when the women got there were no murals. Like if people have been to Springer, in each pod there are murals now. But whenever we first women got there, those murals were not there. So the women are the ones who started those, and it wasn't it like a contest? Whoever got the best, painted the best one, got like a pizza party or something crazy.
I don't
like
know
that.
about that because I only did it a little bit, and then
Oh.
there were so many other women
Oh, yeah,
way more
yeah,
talented than I was. So, and then of course Jessamine, she did some really cool.
Jessamine.
She did some cool evil eyes on the one in 2.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like, it was funny.
They probably didn't even see it.
Oh, they saw it.
Oh, did she get in trouble?
I don't know. I don't think anybody knew who did it, but yeah, it was.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, they seen it?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I think that's when they took stuff away for a little while, but
Oh,
that was
wow.
funny. No, that was.
The evil eye, that is so funny.
Yeah, but it's a lot. I mean, people had talent in there. I'll tell you what.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, did you develop any mental health issues while being incarcerated, or did you maybe previously have any, if you would wish to share? Well, because like before I had anxiety, I've always had anxiety. So like if I was asked that question, I'd be like, yeah, I had anxiety before or whatever, because I'm not embarrassed about it. But well, you feel free, whatever you would like to share.
So I mean, I went in with my own mental health issues. Got some genetic background that I got gifted, some of that, and some from my military days that, you know, were part of me, PTSD and different things. But, you know, definitely, you know, things went on in there that traveled out with me that made things worse, you know, like, you know, just different sounds and things that, you know, still affect me today. And I'm sure a lot of people have those as well. But I had never, you know, at Springer they had the open walking. Walking. I don't know what it was, but it just seemed like I always walked into whatever fight was going to be happening out there during walking. I walked on that always. So a lot of those in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes that happens, like you're trying to avoid stuff all the time, you know, but then there's those times when you're just like, you're walking right into it all the time, or you're walking into the chow hall, someone's fighting, you're walking into work, someone's fighting, you're walking into the pod and someone's fighting, or like it's a high, I want to say like all the hormones are running really high.
Yeah.
We're all females, you know, and it's really a lot of times everybody's hot. You know what I mean? I feel like
Right.
so everybody's just snapping at each other or whatever. But I agree.
I think
Constant-
in the loud noises and the startle thing, like that just to this day, my kids, I'm like, you guys, like, and you
It's
can't,
serious,
you
yeah.
can't, you can't avoid it. You know, it's what it is. So, yeah.
Okay. Did you have any institutionalized habits like when you came out?
Well, you know, you want to think that, you know, you flush the toilet 100 times.
I know they're all courtesy flush.
I'm like, oh my gosh, like how many times are that flushing toilet stuff, man? That's
It's
crazy.
so right.
I'll never forget the first rounds with that. I was like, what are people doing? It was like
I know, right?
That was at, like,
flushing.
when I was, the first round, I didn't really know what was going on in like a little, gosh, it was at, when I was first transferred over to REC, I think, and we had like 4 or 5 of us in a little room, and one of the girls went across to go to the bathroom, and she's talking to us, and she's just like flushing. That was the first time, and I'm like, but I didn't realize, and then I realized, and I'm like, okay.
You're like,
Makes
okay,
sense.
that's what
Just
you
to-
do.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah,
That's crazy, right?
I know.
And then isn't that crazy that
but it's
people
good.
talk to each other? It is.
Yeah.
It is for the people that have common courtesy. Some people don't. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
hey, and I think the thing I'll never get over is like when people try to talk to you when you're in the bathroom. Like you're using, I'm using the bathroom.
Yeah.
Please don't talk to me.
No, we're
right
flushing
now.
the toilet.
Or you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I don't really leave my house hardly at all. Like I'm pretty isolated now in my life. I have been since I've been out. But like if I was to like go out or at all, I still will do that flushing now if I'm in like a
A big
restaurant
area.
bathroom. It's just like part of my. Yeah.
it's part of your psyche now. Oh wow.
I know.
It's like if anybody doesn't know about the courtesy flush, you better ask somebody.
Or
no,
the-
just kidding.
It's not just fun. It's like, you know,
it's not just
covered
fun,
in the
okay?
sounds.
You're
covering the
flushing,
smell.
flushing. It's like all the way around, you know. Just kidding. That's funny. That's a good
I
one.
know.
I'm never gonna get over that one. No. How did your addiction habits affect you while you were incarcerated, past and present, if you had any?
I mean, really, it was like when I went in, I was done.
So-
I think
Oh, I was gonna ask you this before you start because I don't want to forget. So when you went in, did you suffer from any detox? Because alcohol is like one of the worst. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the times, well, because I know I've had to kick pills. More like I did prescription narcotics. Those are like really hard. They say that pharmaceuticals are the worst to ever have to kick on any kind of thing. Yeah, I know because I did my background of my associates is in criminal justice, so I know a lot about the background on the drug addiction. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Pharmaceuticals are really hard to kick, you know, and that's what I did, and I think it was hard for me because I was not doing pain pills anymore, but I was still taking Xanax, which is one of the hardest, and you can die, which I didn't know. You can die from a Xanax withdrawal, and I didn't know that.
you can die from
Because-
alcohol.
Because your
withdrawal.
your
Yeah.
heart rate becomes so low. Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
The Xanax and the alcohol, those are the only two that you could ever die from. So if anybody ever says, "Oh, I'm dying from this heroin overdose," you're not going to die from it. You may feel like you're dying, but you are not physically going to die from it. The only two, and you could fact check me. I would like someone to fact check me actually. No, just kidding. Because the only two that you can die from are alcohol and a Xanax withdrawal. Those are the only two, and it's been proven. So yeah.
So I don't know any of that shit, but I know alcohol. But so I knew the alcohol situation, and my kids did too. Like I had open conversations with all of my children. They knew everything. There was nothing hidden. And also with my family back in Michigan. But I had done a complete, made sure I wasn't on anything. I wasn't gonna be going through any type of detox. So I had done like probably a year before. I went through an class with the VA, but I still was consuming during that time. But right up prior, I was off of every drink, alcohol.
So you didn't have like any when you were.
No.
But did you have to take something when you were, because sometimes they give you medication, you didn't have to take nothing?
So I was on Topamax, which is topiramate, or I can't pronounce anything. But then you get in there and you don't get any medication for weeks. So you're literally cold turkey once again. I think I was cold. I probably was cold turkey 3-4 times at least, which really messes you up. And that would be something I would love to advocate for, because it's insanity. Like, they know you're going in. You've got your medical records. This is a no-brainer. They're faxed over. Mine were faxed over from the VA. Like, what's the problem? I mean, and this goes for everybody that's in there.
Yes.
They knew I was going in before I was going in. My stuff was sent over.
Oh yes, of course.
And people can get extremely sick and die from that. That's legit. And on your way out, when I was leaving, so Zoloft shows up, which is my depression med, that shows up positive on every single test when you're getting drug tested in there. So I would pop the positive every single time on a drug test. Then they'd send it off to a higher, place, and they knew that. So as I'm coming to depart at the end of my time, and I was going to test positive for Zoloft, which would mean that I would have to stay longer.
Oh
Well, nobody wants to stay longer. So, but I didn't know that until right up to my end days. Couldn't get into medical, which is a big Springer thing. You can't get in. I couldn't change my meds in enough time. So I had to go cold turkey once again, right there at the end. And just basically sign off and say, I'm not taking Zoloft. I'm not taking Zoloft. I'm not, to get it out of my system. So, and then I was flailing.
And did you have to do it for 30 days? How long did you have to do it?
I can't, so I've got
That's not right, because they know, and there's a record. Every time that they pulled your UA,
and they know that.
It came back. So if something was going to come back like that, they should have.
They know that. They know you're leaving.
Oh,
and I was told by other women in there that, thankfully, because otherwise I would have stayed for another, who knows, I can't remember how many days.
Thank God you were smart enough.
Yeah, my brain, I've got brain fog because I've got a stupid medical disorder, so I don't remember everything as well as I used to. But so I don't know the exact time frame. But these are things that should be fixed in the prison system, and
that's very broken in there. You're very
It's extremely broken, and I'm not sure, but my guess is it's still going on, and it should not be. And
well, yeah, because the records are there and the communication. It's just a lack of people not caring.
But they don't care. Absolutely not. And you know what? They know this about Zoloft, so why not? They know that exits are coming up. Give these women a chance to switch their medication so they can exit and not have to go through this type of thing.
Right.
Regardless of committing a crime. You've done your time. You should be able to exit. You should be able to get that medication changed and not have to suffer inhumanely. It's not okay.
Yeah.
Period. End of conversation.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. Okay, how did your incarceration affect your family and your loved ones? It's hard.
It completely affected the whole family. Like I mentioned earlier, my ex-husband, who was down the street, had a weird dynamic, but he moved away from my kids within 3 weeks after I was incarcerated. I had assumed that he would be taking care of my kids once I went. So they were immediately parentless, and they had both parents every day of their lives up until that point. So my daughter was my hero. She took over everything, and she shouldn't have had to. I did wrong. My kids didn't do wrong, and they suffered because I committed a crime. And I have suffered mentally because I put them through stuff. my youngest was 15. I missed his 16th birthday, and yeah, that I have really never forgiven myself for any of that, and I feel like I have lost pretty much all my friends, a lot of family members who walked away, you know. I quit. I got out of prison, pretty much stayed housebound, even though I'm off probation and parole for, good. I'm done with all that, but yeah, I just went into pretty much good isolation.
Yeah, that's hard. Don't be too hard on yourself though, Bonnie. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Because I know it is.
I had a lot of
more than
plans,
me.
a lot of goals, but it kind of flipped, and I didn't become productive in a lot of those areas. I did have some things that smacked me pretty hard, so that were unexpected. So I had some medical issues and some pretty bad things that took place as well. But hopefully someday I will turn the corner from those. But
Well, you will.
yeah.
It's a little bit at a time, you know what I mean, that you have to deal with all that stuff.
Yeah, I think everybody gets out and they, you want to flip the switch, and I was pretty positive I would. I didn't expect it to be a decline. So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that hit it hard and go downward. So
During your prison stay, did you ever experience an act of violence? And how did that affect your mental health?
I didn't experience any. I just became the TV watcher of a lot.
Yeah, right?
I mean, I'm laughing, but it wasn't really laughable. But, witnessed people that I cared about and saw it quite a bit, and it definitely affected my mental state. I mean, I don't know if anybody really enjoys watching them. I mean, I actually like UFC fights, but I didn't really enjoy that.
You didn't like the UFC fights and the girls taking the other girls in the shower?
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Because that's basically what it is. Yeah,
I helped a lot of girls with their makeup afterwards.
Oh yeah, I wanted Bonnie to tell about this because this was fascinating to me, and I think that it'll be to a lot of people. Can you talk a little bit about what you did for women? Well, because certain things happen when there's a fight, and not everybody knows because not everybody.
Well, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if
you
you're
get locked down or whatever.
Yeah, no matter if you're the person who started the fight or if you were the recipient or if you were both fighting, either way. So if you were not the one who initiated and you were, the end result of the fight, you both go in and get to SAG, right?
Yeah.
And so, one of the times I was, fixing somebody's makeup for them, or not that they were having makeup on before, but covering up the injuries so that, that person didn't go to SAG because, and the COs are coming in fast and furious to the shower area where I was doing the makeup, and everybody else ran back for count. I stayed in there with the girl that was doing her makeup, and they told us to go into the showers and strip, and the CO was like, "You didn't do too good of a job of makeup, Bonnie. Do better next time." So, and I actually would have gotten in trouble for that too. So, but yeah, I just wanted to help out if I could.
I thought that was neat. That was cool, and because not very women are willing to be like, okay, I'm gonna donate my makeup that I bought on Walking Horse to this girl who fought because we don't want to get locked down or we don't want anybody to go to SAG or get in trouble. I felt like it showed the kind of character of person that you had, so I appreciated it. I hope y'all do too.
Just
No, just kidding.
cover up those bruises.
Right. I'm all right. Hey, I've had to do that in real life. No, just kidding. You know, for my ex-husband that would,
Oh,
you know, like
yeah.
I wouldn't want to go to the school or see his family for Christmas or like I had to do that in real life. You know what I mean? Like so,
I
yeah.
usually only had to do that for like if my daughter had a hickey and I cover up her hickey because my mom was showing up. No. Or my hickeys if I had them. I mean, that was like way a long time ago. But yeah.
Is there anything else you wish to share about your experience?
So when so my business and stuff that I did prior to going to prison, I had accounting business, bookkeeping and accounting. And so when I got to prison, I said that I wanted to do better every day and I wanted to help other people. So when I was in jail, first just in jail before I went to RDC or went on to Springer, you know, some of my bunkies and stuff, you know, a lot of them, you know, were young and they were crying, they missed their kids. I mean, I miss my kids. Like, my kids are my life, period, in a conversation. And I'm only alive today because my kids. I would have been done with life many times if I didn't have my kids. So I understand, like, a lot of the girls that were with me, you know, they're my kids' age. Like, I'm going to be 59 here in a few months. And so talking to these girls, they want to be back with their kids and they didn't want to come back, you know. And I have a weird brain on like going to college. I grew up and my mom was married, you know, 4 times. My dad died when I was young. I didn't have a lot of direction in life. And I joined the Army and I didn't really go to college. I took like one accounting course and I was able to build a business doing bookkeeping and accounting from home. So I started talking to these girls in my cell and shit. And I told my kids the opposite of what everybody else did. And I'm not trying to bash college when you hear me talk. I really just was trying to have my kids focus where not to go into college debt. You didn't have to go to college and have a degree. You could actually just, you know, take whatever, find something they loved to do and just take whatever courses in whatever they love to do and build a business. So I was teaching these girls that I was in cells with, like, what do you love to do? Like, let's find what you love to do. And you could start a business and you could work for yourself. And so I was handwriting it with those little tiny little pencils we had. And I was, you know, helping anybody I could. Feliciana was one of them who has passed away. And I've been very sad about that. She was my bunkie. I loved her. I've seen a lot of people pass away that I really, really cared about. Sarah Iverson, some people that really meant a lot to me, and it hurts me. Another veteran that passed away. There's a big veteran program out there that nonprofits that help veterans with a lot of support that's going on. There's so many things that are helping people out there that people aren't aware of. Anyway, I just wanted to help people while I was in there. So when I got to Springer, Mr. Seifert was doing a pre-parole out thing, and he's like, what do you want to do, like, when you get out? And I'm like, I want to help people. I want to, like, maybe show people how to start their own businesses because, you know, who wants to go back out and try to get a job and you have a background check and, you know, people don't really want to hire felons. And even though I had my own business, people don't really want to hire me. And so he said, I said I wanted to teach a class in there. I'd asked Ms. Ramirez if she would let me do it in Pod 2 and in IOP. It just hadn't hit yet. He's like, well, if you really want to teach a class, he's like, go back and write some stuff. And so I went back that night and I wrote like 8 pages and I took it to him the next day. And he's like, oh, you really want to do it? And so he gave me access to a computer and I put that class in Springer. And I think it was around.
What was the class called again?
It was just how to start your own business.
How to start your own business.
Pretty simple. But I mean, if you start your own business, you can get a federal ID number and nobody's doing a background check if you have a business. You know, if somebody's out there being a plumber or, you know, being a hairstylist, nobody's running a background check on you. And, you know, I had a kid at the time who was doing video games and people were following him, and he had all this money coming in through PayPal because people were just following him. And I had, you know, made a sugar-free drink mix and, you know, using my bulimia and my alcohol and, you know, started a business and it grew. And so if you use your disabilities and, you know, you could start something, anything that you love. If you're into makeup and you get followers, you know, you could be making money. But I put that class together and I really wanted to take that class and build it on the outside so that people don't just leave prison and walk out the door. But I wanted to set up a place where people could come and actually make it happen. But unfortunately, I've had some, like I said, health issues and different things happen. But I'd really like to make that go on, you know, because not everybody can go to college. Not everybody can get the financial aid. Not everybody can, you know, but there's other ways that when we get out of prison, we can make other things happen for ourselves. So, you know, you don't have to go back to prison. You don't end up back in, you know, recycling your crime again, or, you know, other methods to help everybody rebuild. But I really just want to say that I really hope that, you know, there might be a way that I can take my vision and make it happen with some help of other people, because I hit some blocks and I haven't been able to take my goals elsewhere, because I've got some situations. But I know there's a lot of people out there with visions, and I'm just hoping that, yeah.
Okay, somebody said hello ladies, hello, one of our viewers. That's, let me see. Okay, tell the viewers a message or advice to a person transitioning back into society that thinks they can make it, or your former self. That's actually my wife. I'm just kidding.
Oh, cute. Boy, oh boy. Well, I'm gonna say this, just on myself. I had pretty big goals getting out, and I gotta tell you, I've hit some pretty bad lows. I've had suicidal thoughts more than I've had positive thoughts since I've been out, and I don't think I ever thought that was gonna happen. So, and I'm sitting here today really because this 505 site that's up right now motivated me to like contact Rihanna, and I'm pretty thankful for seeing this going and seeing other positive things from other people. So if anything, like, I feel like I got inspired by this, and hopefully this continues to inspire other people. Nina really inspired me with her, you know, the other day when she was on the podcast, and just seeing other people doing great things to help other people get back on their feet. Hopefully, maybe what I talked about maybe inspired somebody.
That's great. I'm very proud and I'm very touched personally because you're a great person and you have a lot to give. Her certificate, she's helped a lot of women. She's being very humble right now, but she's helped a lot of women start their own businesses or help them just out of the goodness of her heart, you know, not expecting anything back. And I think that that's so important because a lot of times we can't help. We can't do it by ourselves, and we need someone else to push us or to let us know that we can do it. So I'm very grateful for you and the friendship that we have discovered, and we're going to do great things. And would you like to, that's it. Would you like to tell maybe your former self, like if you could give a message to your younger self, would you say something like words of encouragement?
My words of encouragement would be this: I should have filed for child support.
We all should have. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, wow. You never took your baby's daddy for child support?
Well, I was allowed to get child support, and I gave it up because my ex and me lived a few doors down, so that we
And
could
you
see
were
our
friends.
and we were friends,
Oh,
and so that I
just
could see the kids every day. I wanted to see my kids every day, and at the time, my business was doing really well. And when the economy crashed, I kept
It's all-
asking for help, and instead, and he said no. And I should have just filed for the child support instead of,
Well, because then you would have had a steady income and you
And
probably
it would have
might
never,
not have.
I would have never ended up where I was. And
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one
I
though,
know.
because you young mothers out there, let me tell you about that child support. No, I'm just kidding.
well, the one more thing I want to say too is like, the one thing that I know is I got kind of stuck in a rut since I've been out because of bad things going bad, and I haven't been able to help others. What has helped me, honestly, is when I'm able to help other people, because then I start to feel better about myself. So the past couple of weeks just has lifted me off the ground because of what you guys, this whole thing, and other people helping other people. And so I've just been feeling better in my head because you guys are touching other people. And so at least I believe you are really, truly. Honestly, the friends that I made while I was in means so much more to me than 90% of the people that were in my life before. Because you know what? Everybody freaking makes mistakes. Everybody does things wrong. And the people that aren't in prison are just the people that didn't get caught.
Oh, thank you.
That's just being real, you know?
Yeah.
And so the people that judge us are just the ones walking around not caught. I mean, just saying.
That's
just saying.
That's right. That's right.
And I mean,
Amal.
that's a lot. There's a lot of truth there. I mean, not everybody, but there's a vast amount of people.
I wanted to talk for a few minutes because your crime is unique as that it is white collar crime. So there was an entity that like you had to pay restitution to, and whenever you took the money from this company, they filed for bankruptcy, and then they filed for insurance or whatever they did. They were compensated. They were compensated probably for the insurance, and then through probably the bankruptcy, and then through your restitution. So then that's like almost threefold, okay? So I just wanted you to speak, and I don't want you to go too much into it because I don't want anybody to be like, oh, well, you know, whatever. But I just want you to, like, don't say the name because I don't want anybody to know the name of the company or whatever. But how ruthless they've been to do, like, to go after you, and like the things that they've done extra is what I'm saying.
Yes, and I've been advised, by a lot of people to leave the town, but my kids are here, so I'm not going anywhere. But when you commit a crime, the people that you've harmed, they don't really want you alive. I mean, that's factual. You've harmed them, so they went heavy, and they'll probably go heavy and never stop. So civilly, criminally, several lawsuits, and not only did they get, there's restitution, they turned in a 1099 for the money that I stole to the IRS. So there's layers.
But isn't that essentially, like the way I said it, essentially they're getting paid 3 times, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Well, just because I want the audience to know and be very clear about when you go into business, you have an insurance and there's fraud protection, then you have a bank insurance. Like some people have multiple layers, and that's a big corporation. I'm sure they had multiple layers. So that's why they've gotten the 3 times over, okay? But they are still coming after you for money and wanting money, but even though, despite the fact that they have already received the money through an insurance, through your restitution, and probably, we don't know for a fact, but through probably a bankruptcy if they claimed it, because through a bankruptcy they would get it,
I don't know if they filed that or
Okay,
not.
okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot, but and I just wanted to tell the viewers, because sometimes you're still here doing it despite the fact that this company is trying to bleed you dry, you know what I mean? And that's the point that I wanted to make. She's still here with the smile on her face, and
Usually I'm crying.
Yeah, but she's doing great. So, but we're very grateful. What time is it, friend?
7:52.
All right, we did good timing. Oh my gosh, well, because we kind of spread it out. All right. Okay, well, I am very grateful to anybody who watched, especially our top viewer, Try Me Bitch, who's my #1 fan. She knows I love her. No, just kidding. And anybody else watching, I know that, what was your friend's name so I can say?
Patty.
Patty. Hi, Patty. I hope you're watching us. And we just wanted to say, oh, Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Thank you. I love you, Bon. Michelle Yaley. Yeah, there we go. Thank you so much. We're grateful. And thank you for all the love. We would like anybody who would like to be on our podcast Behind Bars in the 505 just to reach out. We are now scheduling for the month of, wow, that sounds crazy, October. Well, because, so if anybody is interested, if anybody's interested, just let us know. I'm very grateful to Bonnie. Thank you so much. You did an amazing job, and the time just flew by. I was like, oh my gosh, I thought barely 30 minutes had passed, so it was a whole hour. So I'm very grateful. Thank you to all our viewers, and we are now signing off. Just kidding. Say bye, Bonnie.
Bye.
Thank you, Michelle. Oh, somebody else is there. Hold on. I love Lindsay, Haley, and Lynn. Lindsay Reynolds. Bonnie has her people. That's so nice. Thank you to all our people. We're so grateful to you. I'm gonna send a comment back to you all right now. Thank you very much. We are so grateful to all. I'm gonna do it real quick before we get off. Oh, that's neat. Bonnie, you had a lot of people. Well, because they're all sending comments. Let's put thank you, everybody. We appreciate you. That was neat. Yeah, that's neat, right?
Are we off?
Hold on, I'm going off right now. Okay, we're jumping off. Thank you, everybody.